Hey dumplings, this is Dave Desai. Today I want to get into what fans believe may have hurt V and his apparent date in Jeju Island. I also want to get into some emotional posts that V has posted on his story. So, hater or not, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell on. Rabbit dumpling, teaspilling mug merge, and let's get into it. If you aren't aware, V posted some stuff on his story. Some people, including myself, thought the story might have deleted, as V tends to have those delete fingers and uses them very quickly. But it seems like the story or post that I am talking about today was a story that was allowed to do its full 24-hour cycle, and it was posted for a full day. But it was definitely an emotional post. V was having a moment where he seemed to be at home by himself and watching a drama. It appears like he was watching a drama in his bed. So either having a lazy day or whatever it is. And I am so happy and glad that he is able to enjoy some moments by himself, and maybe they're at the point in their career where they feel like it's okay to take some moments for themselves and enjoy the little things in life. I think it's very important to watch and indulge yourself into various different forms of art, especially if you're in the industry. It helps with inspiration, it helps with songwriting, just all of that. If V has never been in a relationship, he would get most of his inspiration from songs and concepts through K-dramas or other forms of art. But V posted a story of him watching Our Blues. Our Blues currently only has one season, it's available on Netflix to binge, and it's a romance that has a lot of drama. It shows the working life of people in Jeju Island. Of course, a lot of clips you see online of the drama appear to be sad, and this is probably likely, as Jeju is a small island and the people there, if they don't travel much, can be easy to be stuck into a smaller way of living that can be sad at times. Not saying a smaller way of living is sad, but if there's people who want more for themselves, sometimes it's difficult to get that. The actors of Our Blues are all pretty famous, and it's quite nice to see V enjoying it. He posted a story saying how this drama was the drama of his life, and he really likes it. The post even seemed a bit more emotional for him, aside from the obvious emotional drama, but he seemed more emotional because he added a smiley crying emoji there. So we know V was definitely in his feelings that day with the drama and wanted to share his love with everyone. And then another story posted asking the director and producers to please release another episode quickly. I am sure we can all relate to this when it's a really good drama. V sharing this and kind of giving the ratings a small boost is great, because if the show does well, then they will have to make another season or an episode fast. But aside from the obvious cute and emotional posts, look a bit deeper into whatever V posts. It's not always a direct hint towards the album or music, but I think it's really cool that BTS and V share so much on social media, because what he posts almost has a direct correlation to what he is inspired by at the moment. So you can expect similar styles, or V may try to recreate something to invoke a similar feeling from what he is inspired by at the moment. V is also the type where if he likes something, he can't stop talking about it, and it reflects into what he does, whether that's on stage, in his Instagram story, or in his style of music. I kind of think that V's inspiration changes a lot, so that might be why he has a lot of pre-recorded songs that he ends up throwing out. Maybe he was in a different mindset when he wrote one song, and then since it takes a long time to release, by the time it might be to release the song, he isn't inspired by the song anymore and doesn't want to release. But this is just my theory, I have no proof of this. We have recently seen some pictures that he posted that was a bit more romantic and K-drama-y, and what was believed to be a Vegas wedding venue. I don't know the exact name of the alleged venue, so it's difficult to find out exactly where it is, but people believe it's in Vegas. And of course, he took this photo with the intention of changing his profile picture with the photo and having a black and white profile picture. Initially, we thought maybe the album was going to be something more romantic, and V was hinting towards that, but as we now know what the concept of the Proof album is, we can definitely see that the photo didn't need to be at a wedding venue, it just needed to be a black and white, in which case V may have chosen the wedding venue and to do a photo shoot there because he could have been inspired by the K-drama. Our Blues came out April 9th, so he may have started it while in Vegas, but also recently he allegedly went to visit Jeju as well. This was interesting because there were some posts that had mentioned that they apparently saw V on a flight and weren't quite sure if it was him or not. There were some people that claimed that they saw V in economy class flying from Seoul to Jeju. This I don't believe was on the itinerary, like the official BTS itinerary. Likely V flew over just to have a day off and have fun, and maybe even just take some photos, as again he may have been inspired by Our Blues to create more artsy photos in Jeju. The plane ride from Seoul to Jeju is about an hour, so people were surprised to hear that he was possibly in economy class, but paying first class for an hour flight is such a waste of money, and honestly, even if I had the money, I wouldn't fly first class for those flights. But to me, this was probably what he was doing in Jeju, was taking photos and just spending the day off doing something fun. People had mixed feelings on the rumors and tweets of where V was. I say rumors, although I do kind of believe it's true, just because there's no photo evidence, so take it with a grain of salt. But I don't necessarily think any of these people are lying, and they have no reason to. People were angry about the rumors of him being there and people on the island seeing him there because they want V to have a normal experience when he goes outside. They want him to just enjoy being a normal person and whatnot. And I will say this, I don't think any of the members hate when armies approach them. I don't think they are upset when armies do. While it can be frustrating to get mobbed or stalked, the reason why BTS loves doing concerts is meeting armies. I just don't see that they would be upset if someone recognized them. People were claiming that the people saying that they saw V were attacking or mobbing him, or even saying that when they see V, they shouldn't even mention it. I'm sorry, if you see someone you like, you're gonna mention it. That's how the world works. If V also didn't want attention, there's various ways he could have gone about it, such as hoodie and covering the face or taking a private jet. He obviously does not care if someone approaches him, but I am curious to know if you consider this to be an attack on V, just the fact that people recognized him on the island. A lot of people think it's weird to fly somewhere just to spend an afternoon, but if you lived in areas like Korea, Hawaii, Taiwan, or whatever, it's very common to literally just take an hour flight to fly to one of the other islands. It's just like going on a bus somewhere and hanging out for a few hours and then going back. Now, this is all fine and dandy and no problems here, but there were some controversies that arose with V and Jeju because apparently JISOO from Blackpink, the now idol turned actress, now possibly back into idol, was also there in Jeju around the same time. But she was hanging out with her friend. People think it was the same time because it was posted around the same time. Keep in mind, you can post whenever you want and literally weeks later. But people were saying that V was there to see JISOO, and the idea that we don't know why he was there, so people assume that he was there to see someone and then assume that that someone was JISOO. Of course, there are already a lot of ship rumors and theories of BTS and Blackpink dating, so this only made it stronger. But the rumors were quickly debunked. People pulled up the area in which JISOO spent most of her time and located the place she hung out in her photos, and noticed that where V might have been versus JISOO was so far apart, like on the other side of the island. So there's likely no way that they even saw each other that day. And it was likely that if they were both on Jeju the same day, they never even ran into each other. We did see the photos of V in a more romantic part of the island, the sunflowers, the grass, and so people were speculating from that who was there to take the photos of him. Funny enough, there weren't really any tweets or comments about who they saw V with, but I am sure if it was JISOO, there would be a much bigger deal online and people would have recognized one or the other. Let's say you don't recognize V right away because he's dressed so normally, or you might feel like, why would he be here when there's a comeback they're working on? But if you recognize JISOO, it would only take 1 second for you to make the jump that this person that appears like V next to her is in fact V. However, none of that actually happened, and people do believe JISOO was just there with her friend and not any of the BTS members. But what do you think? Do you think V was by himself and maybe just with a staff or a photographer, or was he with a date on Jeju? And do you think it was JISOO? Also, do you believe that if you did see V in Jeju, that you should not go up to him and ask for a photo or not talk to him? Do you consider this to be mobbing or attacking him? And just because they said a statement about not necessarily going up to them doesn't mean that every person in the world has read or heard about it. And thus, are the members going to be upset at every person and tell them to read the statement? Probably not. Let me know what you think, and make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link below. Thank you to this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.